it's Kristin. So I am doing another foundation review for you guys today. And normally I do these foundation reviews with Kristin from It's Kristin. And for this particular one, she actually sent me this foundation because it didn't work for her. So I apologize that I don't have a younger, more oily skin opinion for you guys on this one. I just am going to have to speak to this from my perspective. So for those of you that might be new, I am 42 and I have a drier skin for sure. I don't have a lot of issues with pores or anything like that, but I definitely lean towards the dry, more mature skin type. So just kind of as an FYI. So this is the Bourjiois Healthy Mix, not the serum, just the regular Healthy Mix. And I know that they have changed the packaging since I got this. So we'll talk about, you know, that a little bit down the line, but this is what it looks like. The shade that I have is in number 52 Vanilla, which is a really good match for me. I really like the shade of that. So first thing I always do is show you guys a little bit of a demo of how it applies. So let's cut to that and then we'll come back and talk about it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 pumps on my hand and we'll show you what that looks like as far as like kind of runniness, so to speak. And all right, I'm just going to kind of dot it. Sometimes I forget to just do the one side of my face. I have a towel in my lap, by the way. And I'm going to use a beauty blender. And that is, what's interesting is that I went back and watched the Healthy Mix serum review that I had done, just to refresh my memory on that one. And I've used it again. But when I was watching that, this was my preferred method with that one too. And I don't have a ton of foundations where I really feel like I want to use this versus anything else, this being the beauty blender. So we'll show you how nicely it blends into the skin below my ear, shall we? So there you can kind of see the coverage, how nicely, and that's just a really sheer layer of it. So you can definitely use just a sheer layer. I really prefer a little bit more coverage than that. I'm just going to stick this over here for later so I don't waste it. I'm using the viewfinder because of my new sort of camera location. Normally I could just use my mirror right here, but it doesn't work so much with this setup. So I apologize if I'm not looking directly at you guys this time. Alright, so aside from the blotch there, you can kind of see what the one sort of layer looks like. And I'm going to add that little spot as a second coat. And it just really has nice coverage without being sort of, you know, mask coverage. Because who wants that? I'm going to pick up the rest of what's on here, go over this side. I usually start right on my cheeks because that's where my redness is and I like to cover that up. Because who wants to see rosy red cheeks? Unless you're young, and it's cute when you're young. Alright, so there you go. That is what sort of 2 layers of the Beauty Blender looks like. Okay, so as most of you know that have seen a foundation review of mine, I do a 5-point system. I talk about each sort of section and give it a point value from 0 to 1. So the first thing we're going to talk about is coverage. And you can see it gives great coverage. You can get a sheer coverage. You can also get up to a fuller coverage. Now, as in the demo, you saw me use a beauty blender. I also like flat top kabuki with it. The one that I've used the most, let me grab it here, is the IT Cosmetics number 110. This works really, really well. It gives a fuller coverage. I just feel like this foundation works a little bit better into my skin with the Beauty Blender. And as I had said in the demo, I found it interesting that when I went back to watch the Healthy Mix serum, I liked that one best with the Beauty Blender as well. So I found that interesting. But I really just feel like it really and I don't have that with every foundation in the Beauty Blender, but with this brand apparently it just works really well with that. So I'm giving it a full point for coverage because I think you can get a sheer, more natural coverage and you can build it up to a fuller coverage. So full point for that. Let's talk about the finish. This is not like the Healthy Mix serum, I feel like has a little bit more of a radiance to it. And this one says perfectly glowing complexion and toned skin. So I feel like the Healthy Mix serum, and I did go back and use that last week a couple of days just to kind of refresh my memory and then rewatched my my video obviously. that has a little bit more glow to it than this one does. This one is just a little bit more of, it's not matte, it's not glowy, it's just a nice kind of middle of the road. Really like the finish, so I'm giving it a full point for the finish as well. And longevity, this is what really surprised me. The Bourjiois Healthy Mix Serum claimed 16 hours and did not do that. I got about 8 hours out of that one. This thing, this lasts forever. When we recently traveled out east, our flight was supposed to be, you know, we should have been traveling for maybe 5 hours. I think it was 6 hours, something like that. Well, our flight ended up getting canceled, and anyway, I ended up having a very long day. I think I put on my foundation at 5 in the morning, and we didn't go to bed till 3. So it was almost, almost 24 hours. And it was just starting to kind of get patchy in areas. I was blown away. I knew it was long lasting because my days are generally maybe 12, 13 hours before I take off my foundation. I was very impressed with this. So longevity, it absolutely gets the full point from me. Packaging, so I know they have changed the packaging. Now currently it is kind of see-through, but basically it's an opaque cap and it has a pump. Now it's red and a little bit more clear, still has the pump. What I can't tell from things that I looked at online is I love this. This has the kind of pump that pushes the product up from the bottom. I don't know if it still has that sort of pump or not in the new packaging. The serum foundation does not have that. It's just a normal, and you can see, by the way, how much I've used of the one. And this is the one that I'm currently using up till it's gone, just because I don't want it to go bad, and I really like it. So the packaging gets a full point. The only thing I didn't give this a full point on is the color range. And I'm not sure if that's fair or not because it's tricky for me to tell online and I can't go and find this in store, which I will talk about in a minute. But it has 8 shades. So there is one a little bit lighter than the 52 that I use. There's a 51. I'm not sure if that would have worked better for Kristin or not because I think she only was able to get the 52. But on the darker end, it doesn't seem like they go very dark at all. So I'm only giving it a half a point for that because I feel like it's left out, you know, half of the population. So not the best as far as color range. So this ended up with a 4.5, which has got to be one of my highest foundation scores ever. I really like this foundation. Now let's talk a little bit about getting it. So if you live, I believe, in the UK, well, in lots of countries in Europe, I think this is pretty easy to get. You cannot go to a store and get this here. However, I found it on Amazon. I found it on eBay. There are some people had told me Sears, so I looked on Sears and it lists them, but it's not sold by Sears. Like there's some shades sold by Overstock, some shades sold by, it actually says Ulta. When I went to Ulta's website, they don't have Bourjois, so I don't understand that so much, but it kind of depends on the shade. Drugstore.com carries some shades. Sometimes you have to buy 2 of them. And so it's a little bit tricky. I will link what I can below and try to notate for you if it is, you know, Sears, or I know ASOS sometimes sells it, or, you know, whatever I can find, I will try to list it below for you so you know where you're where you're linking to. But yeah, that's the only kind of drawback to this, is that it's not easy to get for those of us in the States. I think, I honestly don't know if it's in Canada or not, so you guys will have to let me know. And check out the comments if you're curious about this. If you know where this can be purchased, please list that below. If you're curious about it, please check the comments, because you guys always have really great ideas. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys. I had a lot of requests since I had talked about doing this, or since I had talked about this in a favorites to do it, and I thought I better get on it since I'm you know, working my way through this relatively quickly. I really like this. I would absolutely purchase it again. It's a great foundation. Longevity, finish, package, it's just great. I just wish they would add a few more shades on the darker end of the scale. So on my face today, I have that, as you saw. For blush today, I have MAC's Warm Soul, and this is in the original packaging. I still say that the new one is not the same. On my eyes today, one of my subscribers is a senior beauty advisor at Walgreens, and they are bringing out a couple of new brands. I believe she said that this brand called Circa is Eva Mendez's line, maybe? So at any rate, I have this all over my lid and then this dark shade in the outer corner. and brought up. And I have a little bit of, I have it over here, of pewter from the Tartelette palette in my crease because I didn't have something in the Naked Basics that I would like. So a little bit of pewter right there. And then Walk of Shame from the Naked Basics as my brow bone highlight. And I did add a little bit of the Plum Tanzanite Tarte liner. On my lips today, I have the NYX liner in it Natural and then MAC's Cream Cup over the top of that. And I believe that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're having a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.